Don't ask me to talk.
From the sublime to the ridiculous.
Join me, Stacey Heller,
And me, Eric Ryder.
as we talk about what's good to watch, read, see, listen to, and more.
An edutaining 1 hour break in your day that includes the segment, What Are We Eating? Sponsored by Dingfelder's Delicatessen.
Stick with us for something good. Hello and welcome to Don't Ask Me to Talk here on Kixie. I am Stacey Heller, joined, of course, by...
Hey, it's me, Eric Ryder. We're bringing some good to your hood.
Oh, that's good. Oh, Mr. Tagline, big fan.
And you know it's true because it rhymes,
Right.
right?
Anything that rhymes is
If it rhymes, then it's got to be right.
Absolutely. Well, if you have not listened to the show before, then just so you know, every week we talk about random holidays and random topics that we pick from our Wheel O topics. Because
Wheel O topics.
exactly. Because honestly, like, making decisions is hard. Like this morning when I got dressed, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to wear. And then I went out into the world and it turns out my blues don't match. But I decided that I was not going to get stressed about that. I'm just going to tell everybody about the fact that my blues don't match.
Your blues don't match?
Yeah, the top and like my top and my pants, they're not quite right.
But blues don't have to match.
Well, we could, like, that could be a whole topic. So
She's got the blues.
I've got the blues. So anyway, basically
My
making
top and my pants don't match. Dun, 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 dun.
that's kind of how I'm feeling today. So, you know, when making decisions is hard in the morning and you're still a little tired, it's nice to have the Wheel of Topics. We also, of course, chat with our show sponsor, Vance Dingfelder of Dingfelder's Delicatessen and Nourish Catering. He is not able to join us today, so I'm hijacking his segment, and I'm gonna tell you all about a wedding that he catered.
Ooh.
Right? So basically, strap in for a lively hour of banter and random tangents. Right?
That's right.
It's good stuff. Of course, you can find past episodes of Don't Ask Me to Talk wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also subscribe to it because we're going to be taking a break from the show airing on Kixie. And so, I mean, you don't think we're going to leave you, do you? We're just taking a short break. And then if you subscribe, you'll still be able to hear us.
That's right.
Via podcast. I can't leave Eric. Are you kidding? I can't leave our adoring fans hanging. Anyway, remember that if you want to connect with us, you can text or call 475-999-2726.
That's 475-999-BRAN.
Nice. Okay. I wanted to share our ridiculous high holidays. Now, first of all, we have to talk about that tomorrow is, I feel like, what would be a high holy day of obligation in your life, which is St. Patrick's Day.
I do enjoy some St. Patrick's Day. I don't like to go out and, get plastered.
Right.
I don't like, plastic green bowlers or whatever
Right.
that people wear. I don't like any of that stuff, but I do enjoy taking some time and indulging in a little bit of Irish culture. Whether that be watching some Irish movies or whether that be listening to the Irish History podcast while I make some traditional Irish food like colcannon, for instance, and corned beef and cabbage, not traditional, not Irish, but I do enjoy it. So I typically make some of that as well. But I try to pair it with some Irish cheese and some colcannon. And
what is colcannon?
It's their version of mash. It's mashed potato, but there's cabbage and onion in there, champ, like the green onion usually, and it's so good. It's just it's like mashed potatoes, but kicking it up a notch, if you will.
Wow, Dropkick Murphying it up a notch.
There you go.
It's a band. Colcannon. Now, is that something you have to make then?
Yes.
I'm like, I don't think they have like potato bud colcannon.
No, they don't. You'd have to make it by yourself, or I imagine there's some, Irish restaurants out there that do it.
But you can get it.
Yeah. kind of hard to find, actually, Irish restaurants that actually do good Irish food instead of some Americanized version of it. You know, Irish nachos, it's corned beef on tortilla chips, like they do in the old country. No, they don't.
Well, I just had this conversation with my husband and daughter a couple nights ago. We were out and we were talking about how St. Patrick's Day falls on a Friday, which for us, we've got a whole bunch of holidays here that are, or days that are then at odds, because Pete always makes corned beef cabbage and has like blackened tannins, and, you know, we always stay home. I agree with you. Going out, it's like, it just seems terrible.
Right.
And so we do that. But Friday night is also pizza night traditionally in our house. So then, you know, I'm like, what are we going to do about that? And then, of course, Pete, the one thing that he has held on to with our Catholic faith is that he won't eat meat typically on Fridays. But he's like, doesn't the Pope give special dispensation for corned beef cabbage? And I'm like, I think they do, actually. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not qualified to comment on that at this point.
I'm going to have to ask my mom.
Yeah.
I feel like they used to be like, yeah, but like you're good. So if anybody knows that, it would be great if you would text me and let me know, because it would make my husband feel so much better. I'm going to give you the number again. It's 475-999-2726. Are you going to give the...
Or 475-999-CRAM. Cram some corned beef in your mouth.
I love corned beef. I do not love cabbage. And that is difficult, because
I think it's a good combo. I wouldn't be eating cabbage by itself usually, but, with the corned beef, I think it's quite nice.
Well, and it does add
you got a slice
something.
of soda bread on the side. You're doing it.
And then boiled potatoes.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway.
Or cold cannon in its place.
Or cold cannon in its place. I might have to look up that and see if I can make that. Interesting. Okay. Maybe I'll make an Irish pizza for pizza night.
If you really want to get authentic and get crazy, you could do a boxty.
What's a boxty?
It's like a Irish pancake that's made mostly from potato, but then they stuff it with all kinds of good stuff. So you could do a corned beef and some onion in there, or you could do...
It's like a latke.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not, but it reminds me of what...
Yeah, it's similar to a latke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, so hey, everybody. On this, the eve of St. Patrick's Day, happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you out there. But today, let's talk about what today is. Today is National Artichoke Day. Now, the only reason I picked this one is because of a story about my upbringing. So I grew up in an upper middle class family, and my mother fancies herself a snob. I mean, really, she did not grow up in an environment that would lend itself to her being allowed to identify as a snob, but whatever. And so she had this thing about artichokes. And artichokes, if you don't know how to eat them, it can be a little tricky. You're like, what do I do with this thing? They're part of the thistle family. Shout out to the first person that was like, oh, I bet this is tasty, because they probably choked on it.
Hence the name.
And so my mom would do this thing where if we were dating someone and they came over for dinner, she would serve artichokes to see if they could eat an artichoke, as if it was some barometer of worthiness.
All right.
And it was ridiculous. And so if we cared about the person that we were bringing to dinner, we were like, you know how to eat an artichoke, right? Like, let's make one. And
so would she do like a boiled or a steamed one, or would she do like the marinated artichokes?
Well, that's the funny thing. She's not even a good cook. And so she would sort of boil, steam. There was always a little bit of water at the bottom of the pan, and you add your baking soda so it keeps some of the green, and then serve it typically with just a melted butter versus like any kind of a heavy sauce.
We always did it with mayonnaise in my family.
Mayonnaise?
Yeah.
I've heard of hollandaise, but I hadn't heard of mayonnaise.
It's good.
That sounds kind of good.
Artichokes are really one of those things where it's like, honestly, it's more hassle than it's worth.
Well, I mean, and that's the stupid part about this. Like, I am telling this story not because I'm proud of this story, but because of how ridiculous it is. And and I am somebody that, I do love getting to the heart. And once I learned how to do it,
Yeah. And those marinated ones are really good, and they're perfect on a pizza in case you want to bump pizza night up to Thursday.
Oh, I could do that tonight. That's a good idea. Oh my gosh, you're giving me lots to think about. Anyway, so don't be a snob, people. Don't use food and being able to eat food or knowing about food or anything. Don't use anything as a barometer of worthiness.
Well, you got to use something as a barometer.
Well, your own standards, but
yes,
don't have your.
food item.
I'm merely suggesting
the wrong way to go.
Right, that if you know how to eat an artichoke is not the way you want to go.
It just almost sounded like you're saying don't have any standards.
Oh yeah, no. Definitely have standards. Oh yeah, have high standards.
Yep.
Okay. There weren't a lot of holidays. The other one was, and this is sort of interesting because I feel like so much has come out in the political climate of the past couple of years, but it's also the Freedom of Information Day today. So apparently this day was chosen to be named after the fourth president, James Madison, who was big on freedom of information and like an individual's right to have the correct information and data. And I guess he was a big advocate of like the Constitution and knowing what's going on in government and transparency. And so the date was selected in, I don't remember when. But what I thought was interesting about this is, of course, the angle that I went is not political because I went conspiracy theories. Like, I'm thinking about how they've unsealed documents about aliens, right? Mm-hmm. And they've unsealed, like, when they unseal information on, like, JFK's death and things like that.
Right.
I'm like, ooh, that stuff is interesting.
Yeah, but nobody accepts that, or none of the conspiracy people ever accept anything that doesn't, comply with their pre-existing beliefs. So who knows if it's worth doing or not.
It's true. It's true. Speaking of that, there's a new Netflix series that's about the plane crash that went down. I think it's like 3 or 4 episodes of the show.
The Malaysian plane that disappeared. Sure.
Yep. I mean, those stories are just so interesting. And, I don't know. When the information comes out, it's like you do feel like there's more to the story. But, you're never going to know it. Anyway, and then the only birthday that is happening today that was worth mentioning, there was some dog, a pug or something, that I was like, I've never heard of this pug. But it is Lauren Graham's birthday, and she played Lorelai on Gilmore Girls. I mean,
all right. I never watched that show, but
it was a good show.
I hear good things.
Yeah. People are rabid fans of it.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that had a cult following when it was on, and then came back, I think, for a little bit. I have no idea if when it came back it maintained the quality, but they also seemed kind of like Twin Peaks, one of those.
Right.
Had a cult following, and people said, "Hey, they should bring that back," and then they did, and then people went, "Eh," and then I think it disappeared.
Yeah. Well, I think they did I think it was like a 4 episode thing where it was the seasons. So they did an episode for each season, and it was like, okay, we're going to put this to bed. And they did, but it still sort of left you like, I need more answers. The other show that's like that is Arrested Development.
Yes. And they brought it back, and it never could really capture the magic of the original seasons, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, it was lightning in a bottle when it first aired.
Yep.
And
Great
it was so it became a cult favorite. It wasn't mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay. Any holidays or birthdays that you know of? My birthday was last Monday.
That's right. Belated happy birthday to you. I saw you on Monday and wished you a happy birthday
yes,
then.
You
but,
did.
For our listeners out there, they should call in to 475-999-BRAN and wish you a happy birthday.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And hopefully you had a good one.
Yeah, it was all right.
Excellent.
I feel like there's some birthdays that are like, woohoo, and there's some that you're like, made it.
Yes.
And this one was like a made it.
I think all of mine are that now, Hey, I made it. Woo.
Yeah, kind of.
Because you just don't, I mean, you hit 18, you're an adult, you get to vote, you can move out if you want. You hit 21, you can finally have a drink.
Right.
25, you get to rent a car.
Well, that's, yeah.
Yeah. After that, there's really nothing.
No.
I mean, there's no milestones that you go, yes, finally.
No. There's
I mean,
not.
maybe when you hit your Social Security age or
you can
get
join
to join
AARP.
AARP and get a discount at the movies. That might be something. But there's a long stretch of time in between those things. And it's just like, I mean, I feel like we need to set up some kind of reward for reaching 42 or something that people can look forward to, or, 57, that some kind of payoff for like something in between renting a car and getting a discount at the movies.
All right, we got to think about this because you're right. It kind of reminds me when you're in school and you have like breaks, and then there's a long stretch when you're in school where it's like winter break is long since gone and there's nothing that's coming down the pike, and you're just like, oh man. Well, that's like that stretch from 25 to 55. Like that's a long time,
right?
I realize that many people maybe have huge life things where,
of course,
maybe they have a significant other, or they get married, or they.
But those aren't necessarily tied to your age or hitting a birthday. I feel like we need something like that so people can just, regardless of whether they get married or have kids or whatever, some kind of milestone that they reach that people can go, yes, at least I got that. Chocolate pudding for reaching the age of 42.
Right. Like 30 and flirty, or 40 and thriving, or 50 is nifty.
The federal government cuts you a check for $75 because you've reached 53.
We're going to have to do some research on this.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. You know me. I love a challenge.
Or you can drive a bus.
What?
Wouldn't that be crazy if instead of, how you can rent a car when you're 25, you can't drive a bus until you're 32 or something like that, Would that be something?
Yeah. Well, and don't you have to be a certain age to be president?
Yes. But that's going out to very few people.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll inspire people. Like, hey, I'm eligible to be president now. The bus. That would be sort of funny. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
you got to be at least 35 years old to be president.
There you go. So that's something. And maybe we need to have like some, I don't know. We're going to have to think about this. Maybe people have ideas. If you have ideas, let us know. I'd be very curious. And I don't mean one of those ideas where it's like, oh, now you get a cane and a walker because you're like over the hill. Like I'm talking like there's something that it's like, ooh, I get
something
to do
cool
this.
That people will look forward to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you get to go on a hot air balloon.
There you go.
And like you get a discount on your burial plot.
Yes. I'm not sure that I would look forward to that.
No, but if we did it on a certain like day where it's like, if you do it at the age of 42, you will get $42 off.
Text us your potential milestones, 475-999-BRAN.
Yeah, try to come up with better ideas than I am. I'm not nailing it today. All right, well, that's kind of fun. We'll have to see if anybody reaches out to us. Any regrets from last week's show? First job stuff.
Yeah.
It was nice having Steve here.
No, I think that was a great show. I had fun talking about my first and second job. And it was cool to learn about yours and Steve's. So, I think that was a good one.
Yeah, it's so interesting, like the things that kind of shape, what you learn.
I mean, I have many regrets from the jobs themselves.
Well, I mean, there's that.
But as far as talking about them, no regrets.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. All right. Well, then let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, so today's topic is what we have been watching lately.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can remember.
Well, exactly. All right. Keep listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk. We'll be right back. Whether it's fly fishing or French pastry, we all have something that makes our tail wag. Involuntary and instinctive, it's sparked by excitement, inspired by purpose, and it speaks to who we are. I'm Stacey Heller of Stacey Connects. I lead clients to the place that makes their tail wag. As a creative director, I bring ideas to life. As a podcast producer, I give ideas a voice. Stacey Connects. It's my superpower. If you want to connect with me, Stacey Heller, go to staceyconnects.com. Welcome back to Don't Ask Me to Talk. I am, of course, one of your co-hosts, Stacey Heller.
I'm the other co-host, Derek Ryder.
So last week on the Wheel O Topics.
Wheel O Topics!
I really think you're going to get this to stick. We picked what we've been watching.
That's right.
Now, you tend to be more of an obscure TV watcher than I am.
Am I?
Well, yes, in that, you know, you're like How This Was Made and documentaries and those kinds of things. And I'm always, in these episodes that we do, I'm always fascinated and I learn so much and I take notes because I'm like, you watch quality TV. And when I was writing down like things.
I'm not sure the food that built America is all that quality, but it is entertaining. And, you know, you do learn something along the way.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would make an argument that the Food That Built America and other shows like it are like playing Sudoku on your phone versus playing Candy Crush.
Fair enough. Yeah,
right?
I could see that.
So, I mean, it's at least engaging your brain and you learn something.
Yes.
So, I, on the other hand, of late, when I was writing down some of the things that I've been watching, you can tell that our 22-year-old daughter is back at home while she's studying for the CPA because I'm learning so much about trash TV. So that's exciting. And that is also sarcasm. So...
When you say trash TV, are we talking about like reality shows? Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, Love Island or that kind of thing?
So she watches all of that. And then my husband was away on business a couple weeks ago. And so she was like, Mom, let me introduce you to like some of the shows that I watch. And I was like, okay. So she introduced me to The Perfect Match. And it's basically some show where all of the random people that have been on all these other Netflix shows, they all come to die. No, that's not true. They all are on the show and you're trying to find your perfect match. And so each week, you know, somebody new comes in, somebody new leaves, whatever. I'm like, this is a lot. It's like, oh, I really feel like we have a connection. Like, you know that this is filmed over 2 weeks. In this case in Panama, and that these people are like, and I'm not even like the morality police here. It's just that it's like, it's such an opportunistic, like, let's win the game type thing. And at the end, the person that won, they won a vacation. And I watched a whole bunch of it with her. And then last night, finally watched the end and found out who won. They won their vacation. And none of the couples are together that were together at the end. So all those perfect matches.
Of course.
I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, it's very contrived. And I see why people get into it because it's just mindless. But also, I kind of prefer playing Sudoku over Candy Crush. So I watched it. And that's that. But I've also watched some other things that people were talking about.
You remember when reality shows first started, like the early 90s, and they tried to like sell them all as if it was like educational, almost like this is a sociological experiment.
Real World on MTV.
Yeah,
what happens
when people start getting real? and then like within like 6 months, it was like lowest common denominator,
totally.
You know, flavor of love. Let's get
with
Flavor
Bridget
Flav
Nielsen, right?
To hook up with a bunch of you know, contestants and see
and Bret
who
Michaels
he loves, and
right?
one of them is gonna, you know, relieve themselves on the stairs. It went so fast.
So
from
fast.
This
well,
is educational to super trash.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And like The Bachelor's been around forever.
Uh-huh.
I think I watched one season when it first came out. Actually, the reality TV that I watched pretty consistently for a few years was the Project Runway. Like, watched that for a few years because I would watch it with the kids, and that was really fun. But all this other stuff, like The Housewives and Bachelorette, and hey, look, I used to read romance novels. Sometimes I still do. Like, it's great. It's mind-numbing. You don't have to think. It's a little bit salacious. The people are attractive generally, but it's just a lot. It's so much. Now, I did finally watch White Lotus.
Hey, what did you think? Did you watch both seasons or just one?
Did. So the best part of season 2, like season 1 was just like constantly like, what? Season 2 was a little less like that. However, what was cool is that I had been to Sicily and so recognized some of the spots and was like, oh, I know where that is. I've seen that, or, whatever. But very cool show. Very good.
Yeah, it's beautifully shot and a great cast. Some of it is borderline on trashy, I think, but it's really fun,
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I finally watched Murders in the Building.
Oh, okay.
I haven't watched season 2. Did I watch season 2? I don't think I watched season 2.
Only Murderers
in the Building, yes. And that's of course, Martin Short.
Steve Martin Short, yep.
Yep, Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez, yeah.
That was really good. I need to watch season 2 because I think season 3 is coming.
I still have not checked that out yet.
It's kind of fun.
Very funny?
Like
more dramatic than you might expect?
Not necessarily more dramatic, drier funny.
Okay. Less slapsticky then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Typical like shtick with, who Marty Short plays. It's exactly what you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
And, Steve Martin, funny and earnest, and Selena Gomez, like very dry. I don't think I realized how dry her voice is. So also Murderville, which was like with, what's his name? Help me.
Will Arnett. Yes. Playing Detective Terry Seattle.
Yes. And the one with Marshawn Lynch, hysterical.
That was my least favorite one of the season.
Are you kidding me? I thought it was hysterical. I thought he was so funny.
I loved it all.
Yeah. So that was really good. Of course, I'm still watching Grace and Frankie. I'm like, I just can't seem to get through it. Did you see the movie The Menu?
I haven't seen it. No.
Holy cow. That was something.
I know that's up on HBO Max now. So.
Okay. Yeah. That was really, I was not prepared. That's one of those, like, I think Pete and Grace said, hey, we're watching a movie. Like, you should come and sit. And I was like, sure. And then I watched it and I was like, what just happened? And I know that's not a show, but a lot of people these days, you can watch a movie so easily.
Sure.
What about The Bear? Have you watched that?
I haven't seen it. I hear good things.
I've heard good things too. So that's on my list.
That one's on Hulu, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So is Abbott Elementary. That's on my list. That's supposed to be good. Yeah, mine is very mainstream. Like, I'm behind by a good 6 months behind everybody else, maybe even a year. So, all right. So now it's your turn.
Yeah, I tend to, hear about how good something is for like 4 or 5 years, and then I go, oh, maybe I'll give it a chance. Well, everybody says this is good, and then I end up like binging like 5 years of episodes of something.
That's like Breaking Bad. I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched Breaking Bad yet?
I haven't.
Oh my gosh.
And our son keeps watching.
What about Better Call Saul?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I know. and I don't know what it is if I enjoy being contrarian, where I'm like, everybody says it's great, so I'm not going to watch it.
It is great.
That's what I hear.
Did you watch Mad Men at all?
Not really.
Okay. That's great too.
All right. Yeah. John Hamm.
Yeah. You've got hundreds of hours of fantastic quality TV to check out.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
All of those shows are great.
I don't know why I haven't watched Breaking Bad. Like, even my mother was like, this show is amazing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So I do need
and
to
I think
watch
Better Call Saul, the follow-up series, that's a prequel to Breaking Bad, maybe even better.
That's what my son said.
And I still haven't seen the final season yet because I watched this on Netflix and they haven't put it up on Netflix. So please don't text us your spoilers. And I've tried very hard to avoid like any media that with the spoils. And I've already heard one big spoiler, and it's like, dang it.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, but I am very much looking forward to watching that final season of A Better Call Saul because, you know, before he even joined Breaking Bad, I was a huge Bob Odenkirk fan. And, you know, he was just fantastic on both those shows. So pretty cool for him to have that, you know, because he was very funny. He was on a show called Mr. Show back in the 90s. And before that on Saturday Night Live as a writer and occasional.
Yeah, he's been around for like forever. And I love when you see sort of a late in career like emergence, and it's like, oh, that's so cool,
right?
Love that. Okay, so what else are you watching?
So I've been watching Poker Face on Peacock.
Oh, Natasha Lyonne?
Yes, Natasha Lyonne. Yeah, and this is a series created by Rian Johnson, who did the Glass Onion movie recently. That was Knives Out. That was the original one, and then Glass Onion was the follow-up. And he's, you know, done quite a few other movies. But, he teamed up with Natasha Lyonne for this series. And, you know, the reason why I love this series is because it's basically Columbo.
I think I've heard that comparison before.
And I really like Columbo.
I love Columbo.
Yes.
Who was the actor in Columbo?
Peter Falk.
Yes, with the sort of like the dopey, like, and while I have you here for a minute.
But they've whittled the the 2-hour Columbo movie down to about 50 minutes, and for each episode of Poker Face. And there's some striking differences.
Sure.
For instance, she's not a cop. She's actually on the run from a casino boss who blames her for his son's death.
Okay.
And the first episode sets all that up. But basically, she is a human lie detector. That's her special skill.
Oh.
And so she they show you like the crime basically at the beginning, and then she kind of comes in like 20 minutes into the episode and then just calls them on their lies. The people that
interesting,
and then says, you know, and then basically figures out, you know, who committed this crime and why, just by always being able to tell when someone is lying. So it's a very fun show.
I love that. That's like I used to like Monk a lot.
Yeah, I'd say if you're a fan of those kind of shows, then this one is a worthy follow-up to that kind of thing, for sure.
Okay. Oh, that's good. See, this is why I like when we have these conversations. I swear I put them in the Wheel O topics so that we'll potentially land on it and so that I can know what to watch. Okay, what else?
And so they just finished with the season. I was watching it week to week, but the great thing is now, if you like the show, you can just binge all the first 10 episodes. So that's all up on Peacock. And let's see, Mandalorian Season 3 is out now. So I've watched the first couple episodes of that. Very entertaining. But I got to say, its thunder was a little bit stolen by the Star Wars series that came out this last year called Andor.
Was it worth having stealing its thunder? Was the other show better? Or?
Well, I think Andor may be the best Star Wars thing since the original trilogy.
Oh.
It's really good. And, you know, some Star Wars fans, I think, may think like, oh, there's not enough like lightsabers in this. You know, there's not enough Jedis. There's no Luke or Leia or any of that stuff. Right. It's kind of a side story. But if you saw the movie Rogue One, one of the main characters in Rogue One, this is basically his life leading up to the events of Rogue One.
His origin story.
And it's brilliant. And the acting is fantastic. The writing's really good. So I'd highly recommend, whether you're into Star Wars or not, I think this is one that could appeal to people that may not know Star Wars from
Sure.
Lord of the Rings or Star Trek.
Well, I will say that, Star Wars is that interesting series of, movies and storytelling that there's always been multi-layers to it,
Yeah.
right? It hasn't always been just about like the weapons or like, yes, there's all those elements of technology and space and all of those compelling things that people love. But that storytelling and the sort of literary tropes that happen and the heart of the matter and hero's journey and all that kind of stuff and transformation has always been a big part of the Star Wars genre, if you will.
Absolutely. And now it's like they've got all these different creators involved. So each show can be quite different from the other, but it can all still be set in this vast universe that
It's like
George
the Marvel
Lucas
thing.
kind of came up with. Yeah, like the Marvel thing. So that's on Disney Plus, and I highly recommend both Mandalorian and Andor. And in Mandalorian, if you're not familiar, it's just like a space cowboy.
Well, and that's Pedro Pascal.
Woo!
Nice.
and not Maurice, in case you're wondering.
Yes.
Some people will get that.
Space cowboy.
That's
I
right.
get it.
The Joker. But yeah, it's Pedro Pascal. He's very good in it. Although he's starring in the show, and very rarely do you see his face in it. So it must be a real interesting challenge for him to act and not being able to emote with his face because he's wearing a helmet through the whole thing. But it's a great show and a lot of fun. And again, people that were like super skeptical of the prequels or the sequels actually that came out recently in Star Wars, I hear you, and I think you'll still enjoy The Mandalorian.
It's just expands the story. And some of these things like Star Wars and Marvel and whatever, it's so interesting because they'll start to get like fan fiction as well. And, it's like everybody can get involved, which, I mean, that's kind of cool, I think.
Yeah, very
Right?
true.
Why not? Okay, so that's fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed those very much. And back on HBO Max, I've been the first episode of the new season of Perry Mason has dropped, and that's really good. The first season was good, but I think this new season may so far be even better.
Perry Mason?
Perry Mason, yeah, it's
Wow.
a new version of the Perry Mason stories, but this focuses on his very early years as a lawyer. And he's almost part detective in this, and it's stars Matthew Rhys, and it's brilliant. Set in Los Angeles in the 30s.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's well worth checking out.
I love these old, like, these are the shows that I remember growing up with as a kid. Like, you know how you go through, like with Yellowstone, it's like now everything is like, Westerns. And then for a while it was like everything was paranormal and then, vampires. And it's like you go through these things. So I
Right.
kind of love that we're coming up on like whodunit, gumshoe, detective-y stuff.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a genre that I'm like, ooh, that's fun.
It's got a kind of a nice kind of noir feel, but it is in color. But one thing noticeably improved, I think, from the first season is that the first season is like the lighting was like very dim. So I was like trying to make out what's going on in this show. But luckily the acting and the storytelling, made up for all that. But sometimes that can get a little bit oppressive,
Sure.
And this newer season, the season 2, is much better lit, I think. So well worth checking out. And one of the best lit programs on TV, I think, is another HBO show that I was enjoying called Avenue 5 that recently completed their latest season. But this is a lot of fun. This is about basically in the future a cruise, but it's a spaceship cruising around in space instead of, out on the ocean.
Oh my gosh.
But the problem is that they get thrown off course, And so they think that they're up there for, I can't remember. I think they think it's like 6 months, but instead it's more like an 8-year thing.
Oh, that's like that show Manifest.
Yeah.
Right?
But they don't have the food or supplies to go for 8 years. And but it's, despite that being kind of could be scary, it's actually very, very funny. It's one of the funniest shows that's going right now. It's Hugh Laurie, Josh Gad, Zach Woods, and it's the guy that created Veep.
Okay. What's it called again?
It's called Avenue 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Worth checking out. It's very funny.
All right. Oh, this is good. I'm telling you, this is like, and then what's awesome is that like me, listeners can go home and be like, oh, yeah, hey, here's some TV to watch. Like, I love getting this kind of information because typically I'm getting it from the kids and they're telling like me what to watch because I don't get out much. So this is kind of nice. Any others that are must mentions? I don't know how much time we have.
I mean, those I think are the latest things that I've really binged. Now, there's always tons more of things, of course. So I could just go on and on and on. How about you? Do you have any more like hot picks you want to tip people off to?
Not that I can think of. I have this text thread with a bunch of friends, and they're always talking about the things that they're watching. And they've been a little dormant lately. And so I'm going to have to drop some of these into the thread and see what they have to say. And then maybe next week when we do our, at the top of the show, and we talk about things that we maybe missed from the week before, maybe they'll have some additional info. But like I said, I'm so behind on stuff. Like, I didn't know Perry Mason was out. I mean, like,
yeah. And the great thing is now, if you watch it, you'll get to watch the whole first season in a row. You don't have to wait week by week. And
I know.
2 episodes in, I think, in the second season. So, yeah, it's a great time to hop on board the Perry Mason bandwagon.
It's true.
As if it's 1962.
Right? Well, and the thing that's very cool about all these streaming services is, yes, of course, it's just playing into our need for instant gratification and all of that. Like, that's a whole psychological breakdown. But it is nice to be able to watch these things on your own time and, like, enjoy them and really get the full arc of the story. And waiting each week is fine, but it seems so archaic now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can feel that way for sure.
And it's sort of like trying to have any consistency with programming that's each week. I don't know. That's kind of a tricky one for me. Anyway.
Let me ask you this, though. Any shows that are coming back in the next year or so that you're really on the edge of your seat waiting for it, excited?
No, because I don't watch that much TV. Like, there are people that are fanatical about, like, Bridgerton, and they cannot wait until the next season of Bridgerton comes. And I'm like, ah! And, like, I don't know, it was good. Like, I see what people like about it. I don't know. I will watch something and I'll enjoy it. I did really love The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And I don't know if they have another season coming out or not, but I would like if they did, because I think when last we left, her life was in shambles. And so I would like to see that all, like, neatly done. But that's, like, I must have a thing about, like, the 40s and 50s and 60s, because all these shows that you're mentioning that kind of have that, like, hey there, how's it going? Like, everybody talks fast and, what's going on there? Like, I seem to like that time stamp and genre. Like, WandaVision was kind of that. And
yeah, WandaVision was great.
Yeah.
That was that was the first Marvel show that was on Disney Plus.
Yep.
It was a limited series, and I really like how they've done that with the Marvel series, that they've kept them pretty limited, like 6 or 7 episodes. So there's not a lot of fat.
Yes.
Sometimes it can be like, oh, I wish they had a little more time to flesh this out. So it cuts both ways, but I have never found myself being, like, bored, like, oh, is this still going
Right.
with those. And so for me, I'm really looking forward to Loki season 2, which should be out later this year.
Oh, there's going to be a season 2 for that one?
Yeah. I think that was the best of the Marvel series so far.
That was really good.
Yeah. And it kind of ties into the latest Ant-Man movie, Quantumania.
Yep.
So looking forward to seeing those connections made, and just a great cast on that, and very fun show.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because it's another thing that once again I'm sort of led to the TV by either my husband or my kids, and those shows I very much enjoyed, and I haven't seen all of the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and whatever, and yet could enjoy them as like one-off programming and entertaining and everything. And Loki is just like low-key a very cool character.
Low-key fun.
Exactly.
And the other one I'm looking forward to coming back, I think we're getting a new season this year, but I don't know that it's been announced yet, is Fargo on Hulu.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a great series. It's really edge of your seat kind of stuff. And it's very good. And so I'm very much looking forward to another season of that whenever it happens.
There's a lot of good content out there. That's the other thing, the other point that I was going to make about now. There's no longer a stigma about, big stars or actors working in TV with all of these streaming platforms making such quality content.
Yeah.
It's like there's some amazing content out there that is not necessarily on the big screen.
That's true.
So that's kind of nice. It's much more comfortable, although I do still prefer the popcorn at a movie theater. But I digress, as usual. Okay. And that's going to make me hungry now. And we haven't
speaking of hungry,
I know, and we haven't even started.
We're going to find out what we're eating. Unfortunately, not with Vance this week, but I know you've got some firsthand experience with the great work that he does.
I do.
Over at Nourish that you're going to tell us about when we come back.
Yep, let's do it. All right, let's take a break. Keep listening. Yeah. Stacy Connects. It's not just my business, it's my superpower. Whether you need the right tone and messaging for a new venture, or you've plateaued with your current one, I can help. I connect clients with themselves and their potential. Then, I identify unique solutions that translate your brand into messaging that connects your target audience with your business. Go to stacyconnects.com to connect with me and your messaging.
Interested in learning something new? Meeting someone new? Find out things that we have in common? Well, of course you are. You're a human being. So let's get intentional about it. Join me, JDK Winnikin, every week and get all of that in less than an hour. I'm a writer, a historian, a social commentator, and my show is all about you. Really, that's what it's called. This show is all about you. Get my perspectives on the week's news and hear fascinating guests whose stories will inspire and move you. My show is all about giving you something that connects us. Join me Mondays on Kixie 880 at 3 p.m. or download it as a podcast.
Can't get enough of Stacy and Eric? Then be sure and check out Stacy Connects with Stacy Heller wherever you find podcasts. Stacy chats with guests about a variety of topics, hoping to make a connection through conversation.
Welcome back to Don't Ask Me to Talk. I have to say, one of the things that I miss when Vance isn't able to be on the show is your opening, Eric, about the Lord of the Sandwich and the whole thing that you do.
Yes. Well, he'll be back next week.
He will. And
you'll get to hear him.
There we go. Now, we tend to talk about Dingfelder's Delicatessen a lot.
That's right, because it's Vance Dingfelder from Dingfelder's Delicatessen.
Exactly. And it's instant gratification. You can go to the location.
The Duke of the Deli, the King of the Knish.
See, there it is.
The Baron of Breakfast.
I mean, and you can get instant gratification by going to the deli that's in Cap Hill and enjoying. So we tend to talk about that a lot. Now, what we don't talk about as much is Nourish Catering, which Vance has been, he's owned and operated Nourish Catering for some time now. And they are not necessarily just, it's not even necessarily, they are not just Jewish food or Jewish inspired delicatessen. Like, they are full catering service. So for instance, this last summer, he catered a wedding that I was helping with. And, they needed something. The bride and groom, a lot of the people that were in the wedding party and were at the wedding had lots of dietary restrictions. And, it was like, okay, we need something that's vegan, and we need something that is gluten-free, and we need something that's this and that. But also there's going to be drinking. So we need something that's going to absorb all the alcohol and, all these different things. And Vance made these little sandwiches that were amazing. He did like a bruschetta type little mini sandwich. He did a fried chicken one that had this sauce on it that was crazy good. He did I can't remember if it was a pulled pork or a brisket, but holy cow, that was amazing. And the amount of food and the quality of the food was crazy. It is one of the only weddings where I have gone and there's no food left. And he had made tons of extra, but people actually kept going back and getting more. Like, that never happens. Like, what wedding do you go to that people are actually eating through the food? I mean, that never happens. It didn't happen at my own wedding. I mean, the food wasn't that good. But, it was at a country club and this was at a farm and, this was much more interesting and dynamic. But I guess that's the point. Like, Nourish Catering offers food that is much more interesting and dynamic because it really reflects the people that are throwing the party. And I've also used Vance for a few different events that I've done. I entertain a ton, but sometimes I'll get some help from Nourish. The salmon, I know you're not necessarily a big fish eater, but the salmon that he does is unbelievable. Like, it's a cold salmon and you can eat it on a cracker, but you can also just take a slab of it and just eat it straight. It is so good.
We're talking lox, right?
Well, it's not a lox because a lox is typically, I don't know what the process it is that it's
like
going
a
through.
Cream,
Yeah, that it's going. But this is like a whole sort of half side of salmon, and I think it's a poached salmon.
Okay, yeah.
And it is unbelievable. Yeah. It makes me wish that salmon was smaller because when you order like the side of salmon, it's not an insignificant slab of fish.
Right.
I'm like, I would just like a little petite salmon. Thank you very much. And so I will do that kind of thing where if I'm having a party and I need something to be kind of the anchor of my menu, I'll order something from Nourish and do that. He has done countless grad parties. I've known Vance for years, and I have a big mouth. Even before we were doing this radio show, I have a tendency to, talk a lot. Okay, there, I said it. And make connections, thus Stacy Connects. And so tons of graduation parties that he's done. For my daughter Grace's party, we did a brunch because, trying to jockey to get a position for grad season, like, when do you throw the parties? They're usually in the afternoons. Like, is it the weekend before, the weekend after, the weekend of graduation? Well, we did a brunch, and it was great because he did bacon, egg, and cheese sliders, and they were unbelievable. People were talking about them, and that's what you want. And it started out people's, crazy grad party festivities, if you will. So anyway, he has done countless things. So we just so often talk about the delicatessen and the sandwiches and, Passover, which is coming up, and all of these things. And I just felt like we didn't talk enough about, or often enough about, Nourish and all the different things that you can get. You can go to the website, nourishcatering.com, and you can see a selection of menus. He's got some pictures of the food. The pictures are, we always joke that when Vance talks about food, it's like food porn. I am not doing as good of a job, but the pictures that are over there are beautiful. The crudité plates and platters and tables that they do. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So if you're looking for something because you've got a wedding this summer, well, giddy up. You got to get on that. If you're looking for grad, same thing. It's never too late to connect with Nourish Catering. Anyway, I did not do as well as Vance, but that's okay.
But you did make me hungry, so I think that's the
perfect. Job done.
That's
all right.
the marker that we go for.
Perfect. Okay, so before we close out here, what are we talking about next week?
Let's find out as we spin the wheel. Random.
Topics. Oh, rando.
Recurring dreams.
Oh, yeah. Don't you have recurring dreams?
I don't.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that.
I did as a kid, so I can mention that. But I no longer have recurring dreams.
Oh, I do. You don't have like all of your teeth are falling out dreams?
No, thank goodness.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, all right. Then
I'm interested to hear about yours.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, then listen next week when we talk about reoccurring dreams. And thanks, everybody. Have a good week and a great St. Patrick's Day.
And dream well.